Hi there, everyone. Meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you. It is currently the evening of the 5th of October, 2019. And boy, the tropics slowly starting to heat back up out here. We have a nice little tropical depression now deemed a 2-0 by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center located just towards the east of Guam, towards the northwest of Chuuk. By the way, this is Guam right in here. Okinawa is right there. And of course, you got the Philippines well towards the west. Nice little area of convection actually starring off the northern coast of Luzon right now, but all eyes are definitely on this guy out here. Actually, let's zoom right in on that center of circulation and plenty of inflow coming in around it. Of course, you can see the main area of convection right there, and that's the big thing a lot of people do tend to look at, but it's also the upper levels. You can kind of see some of this cloud cover moving away from the center of circulation right in there, and that's indicating to us that this has some lungs. That is outflow aloft. So when you get that cirrus outflow just like that, that's telling us that yeah, this guy has basically that chimney effect. We have plenty of moisture coming in down below, we have that outflow aloft, and it's just kind of setting up that perfect system of development. So for right now, of course, the winds are still at tropical depression intensity of 25 gusting up to 35 knots. As I mentioned actually on the last video, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center is now putting the winds actually right on the graphics, which I absolutely love. This is expected to intensify moving across the northern Mariana Islands as you go ahead in through the early part of this coming week. But the good news, a lot of these northern islands, very low population. It is missing the main areas of Saipan and Guam out here. Still, if this does waver a little bit towards the south, though, Saipan definitely could take the brunt of this. By the time it moves over the Mariana Islands, will be a typhoon at that point. I mean, you got 70 knot sustained winds. Minimum for a typhoon is 64 knots, so definitely going to be pretty potent out here for everybody. And then eventually moving off towards the Philippine Sea here, just towards the east of Okinawa. By that point, 130 gust to 160 knots. It's going to be in a very favorable area of development once it does move out into that region. And I do really strongly believe that we could actually have a super typhoon on our hands if it does make it out there and this development stays in place. So definitely a really serious situation. This is the latest from the European model, just actually coming up on a Wednesday, showing that big wide flow here. Big thing is right in here, you have Okinawa, you have the Philippines towards the west. The good news, there is a trough dipping down. That's going to help pull this off towards the north here. So the Philippines, you are going to be okay. I'm not worried about that. Same with Taiwan, actually, okay for you. I know earlier models were saying that Taiwan could get hit by this, but really out of there. Question mark on Okinawa, because if this track does waver a little bit further towards the west, southern Japan definitely could be in the impact area here. So you still need to watch this. Impact also on the northern Mariana Islands, and really at this time, definitely a high chance of development. No, so I'll show you actually kind of what some of the models are saying here. With this being the latest from the European model, and what you're seeing right here is actually the ensemble. And when you get a lot of widespread areas here with these low pressures, that means there is low confidence. But the European model, actually, those lows are really close together. So pretty high confidence that this is going to move towards the northwest, towards the southern Japanese islands. Basically, this is by next Thursday into Friday. So we still got almost a week out before this actually comes to pass. But the big thing is that there is a lot of high confidence with this particular setup here. Pull up the GFS model, and this has a very similar outcome. So you have two different numerical guidances that have a very similar outcome here. One being the European pulling towards the southern Japanese islands, and then here you have the GFS model also pulling towards the southern Japanese islands, a little bit east of Okinawa, but I mean at this point you still got a week out. But you have multiple model runs, multiple models, all really with high confidence of this storm developing, moving over the Mariana Islands and towards southern Japan. I'm actually just pulling up different model runs here, and I mean, this is that's 18Z back on Friday. We have 0Z here on Saturday, and let's pull up the 12Z on Friday. I just showed you about 5-6 different models here. All of them are all indicating the really high chance of development here moving across southern Japan. Also, the secondary low developing back behind this, but the latest run's really kind of been pulling off on that. So I'm more worried about this first 120W at the very least at this time. Of course, this is definitely something that I'm going to continue to watch here. I'm going to try my best at least to keep you guys posted on this storm system and how it is going to develop, especially for those of you at least at this time into Guam. Guam's definitely going to get rain out of this. I mean, there's just so much moisture inflow coming in from the south. I mean, if you just kind of project it out where the bulk of that moisture flow is right there, you can see that it is going to move towards Guam despite the fact the center of circulation is right there. Lots to see here, though. This could get picked up and pulled towards the north earlier than anticipated, but my best guess, at least at this time, is kind of on a projection just like that. Still time to watch it though. I mean, my best guess could be very well wrong. So anyways, that's all for right now. Stay safe out there, everybody, and as always, thanks for watching. All right.